Welcome to the course on Python for data analytics, machine learning, and generative AI. In this session, we will focus on machine learning pipeline. A machine learning pipeline can be understood as a structured sequence of steps through which raw data is transformed into meaningful predictions. Rather than treating data processing, model building, and evaluation as isolated activities, a pipeline integrates them into a unified and reproducible workflow. Machine learning performs best when its stages are connected, not fragmented. An ad hoc approach often leads to disorganized, inconsistent outcomes. In contrast, a pipeline ensures smooth flow from data processing to evaluation. Such integration enables reproducibility, scalability, and reliable model performance. A machine learning pipeline is a structured workflow that transforms raw data into actionable predictions. It is divided into three key zones: data preprocessing, model construction, and deployment. Each stage builds upon the previous one, ensuring a logical and efficient flow. Together, they form a unified system for handling complex analytical tasks. Pre-processing determines how effectively a model can learn from raw data. It involves handling missing values, transforming features, and encoding categorical variables. These steps convert unstructured inputs into a usable numerical format. Strong pre-processing directly influences the success of the learning process. Model construction focuses on identifying patterns within prepared data. Algorithms are trained to learn relationships and make informed predictions. The process includes both training and systematic evaluation. This stage acts as the core engine of the machine learning pipeline. Refinement ensures the model performs well beyond the training dataset. Techniques like cross-validation test the model across multiple data subsets. Hyperparameter tuning optimizes internal algorithm settings. The goal is to achieve a robust model that generalizes to unseen data. Pipelines ensure consistency between training and prediction phases. All transformations applied during training are stored and reused. This prevents discrepancies when handling new unseen data. As a result, predictions remain reliable and reproducible. What distinguishes a pipeline from a simple sequence of commands is its emphasis on automation, consistency, and scalability. Every transformation applied during training is preserved and reused during prediction. This eliminates discrepancies and makes the entire process more reliable, particularly when deployed in real world environments. In contemporary machine learning practice, pipelines are not optional conveniences. They represent a disciplined approach to build robust systems. They reduce human error, enhance reproducibility, and provide a clear framework within which complex workflows can be managed efficiently. As we proceed, the focus will be on understanding how each stage contributes to the overall learning process and how integrating these stages into a pipeline leads to more dependable and interpretable outcomes. Let's now begin by installing the Kaggle API. First, we install the Kaggle package using pip. This library allows us to directly interact with Kaggle datasets and competitions from within our Python environment. The Kaggle JSON file named kaggle.json is not automatically created or placed on your system during installation. It must be downloaded manually from your Kaggle account and then stored in the correct directory so that the API can function properly. Now let us walk through the process step by step. First, open your browser and navigate to the Kaggle website. Once you are logged in, move to the top right corner and click on your profile icon. From there, access your account settings. Within the account page, locate the API section and select the option labeled Create Legacy API Key. The moment you click this, your file name kaggle.json will be downloaded automatically, typically in your system's downloads folder. Next, we move to the second stage, placing the file correctly. On a Windows system, this file must be stored in a specific directory. If it is missed, we have to create it manually. Navigate to the user directory, right-click, choose New Folder and ensure that the name is exactly as .kaggle, including the dot at the beginning. Once created, move the downloaded kaggle.json file into this folder. Stepping back for a moment, it is worth understanding the conceptual role of this file. The kaggle.json file functions as a credential key, much like an API token. It establishes a trusted connection between your local machine and Kaggle's servers. Without placing this file in the correct location, the system cannot authenticate your request, and access to the dataset or competitions will be denied, regardless of whether the Kaggle package is installed. The small configuration step, though often overlooked, is essential. It bridges the gap between local development and external data access, enabling seamless integration into your machine learning workflow. Next, let's download the Titan dataset. Using the Kaggle command line interface, we download the Titanic competition dataset. The file is saved as a compressed zip archive in our working directory. We now extract the dataset. We import the zip file module and extract the contents of the downloaded zip file into a folder named data. This step ensures that all dataset files are accessible for further processing. Let us now verify the extracted file. We import the OS module and list the content of the data folder. We can see 3 files: training data, test data, and a sample submission file. Now we begin working with data. We import pandas and numpy, two foundational libraries. Pandas is used for data manipulation, while numpy supports numerical operations. We read the training and test datasets using pandas. The training dataset contains both input features and the target variable, while the test dataset contains only input features. We print the first few rows of the training dataset. This gives us an initial understanding of the structure, features, and types of values present. The dataset presented here represents individual passengers aboard the Titanic, with each row capturing a distinct profile and each column reflecting a specific attribute that may influence survival. At the first glance, it appears as a simple tabular structure. However, a closer reading reveals multiple layers of meaning embedded within these variables. The passenger ID serves only as a unique identifier and does not contribute to the prediction. In contrast, the survived columns forms the core of the analysis, acting as the outcome variable that the model seeks to explain. Moving further, P class introduces a subtle yet powerful dimension of socio-economic stratification. Passengers in first class were not merely traveling differently. They occupied a distinct social position, which often translated into higher survival likelihood. The name column, although textual, carries latent signals. Titles such as Mr. or Mrs. quietly encode gender, marital status, and even social standing. Sex, however, makes this explicit and emerges as one of the most influential predictors reflecting historical documented survival patterns. Age adds another demographic layer, though it is imperfect due to missing values. Its distribution suggests that vulnerability and priority during evacuation were not uniform across age groups. SIB, SP, and PASH, when considered together, move the analysis into a realm of family structure. They hint at whether a passenger was traveling alone or within a network of relationships, which in turn may be shaped decision making and access to assistance during the crisis. Ticket and cabin introduce complexity. The ticket variable, while seemingly detailed, often contributes little without deeper feature extraction. Cabin, on the other hand, suffers from substantial missing data, making it unreliable in its raw form. Yet, even its absence tells a story. Data sparsity itself becomes informative. FAIR complements P class by offering a continuous measure of economic capability, while MPARC situates each passenger geographically, indicating the port from which they began their journey. We use the info of function to inspect the dataset. This reveals the number of entries, column names, data types, and importantly, missing values. We apply describe of function to summarize numerical features. This includes measures such as mean, standard deviation, and quartiles, which help us understand the distribution of the data. We check for null values in each column. We observe that age, cabin, and MPARC have missing entries. We replace missing values in the age column with a median. Median is chosen because it is robust to outliers. For the MPARC column, we fill missing values with the most frequent category, also known as the mode. We may notice a warning related to chained assignments. This occurs when modifying a copy of a data frame rather than the original. To ensure future compatibility, it is recommended to assign the result back explicitly rather than using in place is equal to true. We convert the sex column into numerical format. Male as 0 and female as 1. Machine learning models requires numerical outputs. The column MPARC contains categorical values such as C, Q, and S. C means Cherbourg, Q means Queenstown, and S means Southampton. Machine learning models cannot interpret these textual categories directly, so we convert them into numerical representations. pd.get_dummies. This function performs one-hot encoding. It creates new binary 0 or 1 columns for each category. Each row gets a 1 in the column corresponding to its category and 0 elsewhere. We transform the MPARC column into dummy variables. This converts categorical values into binary columns, making them suitable for modeling. Columns is equal to MPARC. This specifies that only the MPARC column should be converted. Other columns remain unchanged. Drop_first is equal to true. This is a subtle but important design choice. It drops one dummy column, usually the first category alphabetically. With two columns only we can decide what are the categories. 0, 1 means yes, 1, 0 means Q, and 0, 0 means C. We now define two pipelines, one for numerical features and one for categorical features. For numerical features, we handle missing values using median imputation and then scale the data using standardization. For categorical features, we again handle missing values and then apply one-hot encoding. We use a column transformer to apply the appropriate transformation to each type of feature. This ensures a clean and structured pre-processing workflow. We create a pipeline that integrates pre-processing and modeling into a single workflow. The model used here is a random forest classifier known for its robustness and ability to handle nonlinear relationships. We define a parameter grid to search for the best combination of hyperparameters. Specifically, we vary the number of trees and the maximum depth of each tree. We apply grid search CV to perform cross validation and identify the best model configuration based on accuracy. This step improves model performance by systematic tuning. We fit the grid search object on the training data. This triggers pre-processing, model training, and evaluation across all parameter combinations. We generate predictions on the test split and evaluate the model using a classification report. This includes precision, recall, and F1 score for each class. We observe that the model achieves an accuracy of around 78%. The balance between precision and recall indicates a reasonably stable classifier. We use joblib to save the train pipeline. This allows us to reuse the model later without retraining. We load the saved model from disk. This demonstrates how trained pipelines can be deployed or reused in real-world application. We select a sample from the test data and pass it through the pipeline. The model outputs a prediction whether the passenger survived or not. This entire workflow demonstrates a modern machine learning pipeline. Notice how this pre-processing, modeling, and tuning are tightly integrated. Such structured pipelines reduce errors, improve reproducibility, and align closely with industry practices. So what appears as a sequence of code is in reality a disciplined flow of decision, data cleaning, transformation, learning, and interface. Mastering this structure is more valuable than memorizing any single algorithm. Thank you. Thank you.